So today, this is the day and night land navigation practical exercise series. And this is following the formal classroom instruction the candidates received last night.
Land nav. That's land navs are a great equalizer.
All right. So land navigation. So the day started off with a classroom instruction. So basically what happens is the cadre sits everybody down. They make sure that they are familiar with how to read a map, how to read a compass, how to use a map and a compass together, how to plot points on a map, giving coordinates. They're giving all of the fundamental tools and the basic information that they need in order to be successful at land nav.
One portion I went north too far, but then I checked my compass and I went far. It's not hard. It's just the just time of the ruck and the time of the legs.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Where's your next point?
Right here. So I have to basically backtrack everything I've already done.
That sucks, dude.
They teach them different techniques of how to walk through the woods, how to go from one point to the next.
So I'm headed to the second point right now. I'm not sure if I just got unlucky with the points, but it is a very far distance walking. So I don't know. Just trying to get in reps, basically. Yeah, this part isn't difficult, really. Some have draws, some have rivers, some have marshlands you have to pass. You have to navigate that. This is pretty basic. It's just point A to point B. So it's hit or miss on every. I don't know how we're supposed to navigate the swamps at night. So hopefully I won't get the luck of the draw with one of those. But it's basic. It's just southeast basically, and there's two roads that will funnel me to my point. So this one isn't too difficult.
All right, so we linked up with this one particular candidate during the day, and we asked him how he was doing. He was extremely confident. He was able to find his points fairly easily. But upon asking him kind of the techniques he was using, we realized that he was really only using one or two techniques that he learned instead of the full array of techniques that you're taught.
So we got the first point for today. The exercise is over at 3:30, so I don't want to keep beating my legs basically. So they said at 3:30, if you're a ways from camp, then cadre will come pick you up. So I'm right here. I'm a couple K back from the camp. So I want to take a couple of minutes, just get off my feet, because we haven't really stopped moving since this morning.
All right, so obviously this candidate's doing pretty good. This is his first time doing land nav. I think he got a lot of confidence doing the cadre walk. He's starting to figure out how it goes. I think there are some downsides to his plan. You know, I dissected his route planning. He's not using a pace count. There's major issues with that. Mind you, he's only found 1 point. So that 1 point was hardball led. And then his second point were two hardballs kind of funneling him into his point, which he did not make it to. And I think that he understood he wasn't going to make it to just based on the time restrictions and how long it took him to get to the first point. So I think he's going to have a rude awakening when it comes to the night portion, because he is not using his data, which we all told him. Make sure you use your data. You need pace count. You need to understand where you are. Azimuth, pace count, backstops. Right now he's relying entirely on azimuth and backstops, which in the daytime when you have hardball roads, that's what you could do. Now the question is, will he shift to making smart decisions when it really counts? And that's at night, when you can't just look around and identify your hardball roads and funnel yourself into them. And when he doesn't have a hardball road to funnel into at his next point in the middle of the night with zero loom, he has to have that data. So we'll see tonight if he uses that data. If not, he's He's gonna be walking around these woods lost as can be.
So we're rocking back tomorrow, right?
Here is 0.0194.
That is your first point. You can launch at 1700. What's your route plan?
Point's in the middle of nowhere, so I can't, like, there's no roads or anything far from it where I can shoot the compass to find it. So we'll see how it goes. I'm going to try to leave as soon as we can and go faster now, because once it gets dark, it's going to be much more difficult and much slower. So I'm going to try to cover as much distance as I can now while it's still light.
So right now, the candidates have all launched out to go do night land nav. They get about a 5-hour practical exercise. And all their PEs today were in the daylight, and so they've learned that they can look left, they can look right, they can see that road, they can see this landmark, and the sun's going down quickly. You've got about a half hour of time left. Once it gets dark, these candidates are going to realize that the fundamentals that we've been pounding into their heads, that they really need to follow them, because the moment they get lazy and they stop following those fundamentals, they're going to be completely lost.
So we had a candidate who has gone outside one of the boundary lines and crossed a hardball, which they're given specific instructions not to cross. The purpose to do this was to avoid some low ground and some dense vegetation, while all the other candidates stayed within the boundaries and had to battle through that. This candidate's chosen to choose a route that provided him a much quicker and more traversable terrain, but by breaking the rules and leaving the boundary. So we're gonna get a drone on this candidate to see where he is exactly, if he's running, what he's doing, and then we're gonna try to intercept him based on that.
He's like directly east, basically.
Everyone else is kind of.
And he's moving. He's gonna. This should be like a little loop. So just gotta go over that little loop right there.
Come here, candidate.
It's not fun. What's that?
Come here. Where are you?
So I'm here and I'm trying to walk up and find Perry Road to find my point here.
Brief me on your original route.
My original route was to handrail as far as I could here, then find one of the Perry roads, but I had a draw here. So I took this side and I walked up and there was no draw, so it was quicker.
What was the guidance you were giving regarding boundaries and hardballs?
Stay 50 meters off of the road.
What about your boundaries? Out of bounds?
I don't remember hearing anything about boundaries.
Does it never explain to you?
No, sir.
Okay. Hardballs are not to be crossed. Every time.
What is a hardball?
This is a hardball. An asphalt road.
I did not know that. Okay. Yeah, I guess I mean, not I guess, now I know, but we're not allowed to cross the roads that are cement or concrete, and I didn't know that. I guess that was the boundary line, and I used that to bypass a draw, a water area, and I didn't know. Maybe it was said at some time, but I do not recall that being said.
And you're the only candidate who's been out of bounds.
Okay.
So you're positive that was never explained to you?
Yeah, I'm positive.
Okay. All the other candidates were slopping through that draw in the water over there.
Well, I mean, then if I didn't know that, it was more intelligent of me to take that course.
Or they all knew and knew the guidance.
Okay,
So,
that's fine.
all right, go ahead and continue with training. From now on, hard balls, do not pass this one. There's another hard ball over the east side, do not cross that one.
Okay, understood.
All right, go ahead and get in the woodline.
Once Cadre links up with the candidate, his attitude is not right at all. He starts telling Cadre excuses on how he was never briefed about the boundaries. I'll be honest with you, I've never walked out on a land nav course not knowing exactly what the rules were gonna be.
I think it was a learning lesson because a lot of these candidates, they don't come from the military world. A lot of these candidates are civilians straight off the street like this one was. And so a lot of them don't have the experience or what we call the military bearing of how to interact with someone of a higher rank, especially someone who is a senior NCO or a senior non-commissioned officer that's a Green Beret that is now a cadre in a unit that you are trying to become a part of.
So we're currently at an area where there's a draw crossing. Just north of the draw crossing, there's a road. So we get a lot of people that get down the dumps, down on their luck, and they want to take the easy way out. So it's a prime location to find people that are looking for some unethical advantage.
Candidate. Yes. Stop. Okay. Turn your headlamp on. On. Remain there.
Why don't you show me where you think you are on the map?
I am somewhere about here.
Okay, where are you going?
Going to here.
Okay.
The idea was to cross, hit that road 90 degree angle, come back, hit that 45, take an azimuth, and go about 400 meters to my point.
What are your thoughts on doing that in the middle of a draw? Maybe second guessing yourself now?
Yeah.
All right. Because I'm feeling generous, I'm gonna allow you to continue to train. Okay?
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Move out. I don't want to see you anywhere near fucking 50 meters from the road again.
Okay.
All right.
So I've just been informed we've had a candidate sitting in their bivouac site for about the last hour. I'm about to interview him, try and find out what's going on, if he wishes to continue, and what his status is. What's going on?
Just not feeling it. Just didn't do well in the lineup.
All right, what happened out there?
I just don't know really the fundamentals of basics. Trying to learn it on the fly. I found one point, but after not finding any today,
You didn't find any all day?
Not on the daytime, no.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So how long have you been sitting back there?
I don't know, 30, 40 minutes, I would say.
Okay. Are you quitting or what? You throwing in the towel?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Well, look, I want you to know that at the very least, we completely respect you coming out here. You did that on your own. You put your foot forward. You got any questions?
No, sir.
All right. So you're gonna hang with the guys the rest of the night, and we'll out-process you in the morning.
So we're here back at the talk, looking at some of the progress of the candidates. Some of these guys are making pretty good progress. They're moving. You can see they're hitting point. They're stopping, going to the next point. So we've got our candidate here that we've been watching, and over the last 35 minutes, he hasn't moved at all. So we've got a little speculation here among the cadre about whether he's quitting or possibly that he's lost, or maybe he's just giving up on himself and having a little crisis of faith.
So he gets to his point, and then he plots his next point and realizes that with an hour and 15 minutes left, he doesn't have enough time to get to that point. So what does he do? Decides that that's a good time to spend an hour and 15 minutes to sit down and eat. We don't want to see somebody that sits down and decides that they're going to eat because they know that they're not going to make it in time. So despite the fact that I had told him and I gave him all the answers, he still decided to do that, which is disappointing. But he got in his own head and he paid the price. And he's going to find that out when he goes to boards.
So right now we are 3 minutes out of index, and so we are preparing to go pick up candidates on the side of the road. All these guys know that they need to continue to train all the way till index point, and from that point forward, they're going to be lining up on the side of the road with the road guard vests out. We're going to pick them up and bring them back to the talk.
Anytime you get picked up by the truck, it's your whole career is on the line. It's terrifying. You're going through everything that you did wrong, everything that you could have done. Suddenly, you're not alone anymore, and every decision you made while you were by yourself starts beating you up.
Up in the back of the truck, drop your rug.
Well, I found my last point at 9:07, so I'm less than an hour. Yeah, it's just frustrating. Like you're doing circles, basically constantly looking for a point, and there weren't any like geographical features that I could identify. It was just woods, draw, and road, and you can't walk within 50 meters of the road because then you'll be roadkill. So I would walk towards the road and then walk 50 meters back or 100, and then I would try to do a circle. And after you're doing that for 4 hours, well, 3 hours, let's call it an hour walking there, it's so frustrating.
Enter.
There's been a question about some of your interaction with cadre.
Tell me about the rules of land nav. Tell me about the lateral limits that we have as far as safety, the boundaries, and then what are some of the rules? What are some of the things you cannot do while you're land navigating?
Do you want me to say what I know now or what I knew?
What do you know now? What do you know?
We're not allowed to cross bridges.
Okay.
And what I was told last night is that we're not allowed to cross roads, cement roads, and we're not allowed to walk with our lights on.
What about how close can you be to a road?
50 meters.
Okay. Well, when we came and got you out of the woods, right, and we met you on the Hardball Road, we re-explained the rules to you. Tell me how that conversation went.
You're not allowed to walk on paved surfaces.
What did you say?
I'm gonna get that point.
Okay, well, let's get to that point.
And then he said all of your fellow candidates walk through the draws, and you win through the clearing, through the other side. We're not allowed to walk. I didn't have time to formulate my thought, but I said that if you don't know about crossing, then that'd be the intelligent thing to do, not to go through the draw, to cross over and then go north.
So you're the only one that figured it out in secret. To land navi. Like, think about it, right? If everybody else is using the draws and land navi, right? Like, and you cut across the road where nobody else is cutting across, and you use this big ass, basically open highway to fucking run up and down while everybody else is sucking land navi through this big ass draw. You just thought you were the one to figure out the secret to land nav. You're the smartest one in the room, kind of thing.
I can't follow a rule if I don't know the rule.
Okay. What about walking with a light on? Did you do that at all? Came up behind you with the razor and he was following you. Did you know he was following you last night?
No.
Okay, because he saw you walking with your light on. Okay.
If we're standing and not moving, we're not allowed to shine the light only on the map.
Stop. Think about something. What are you interviewing for? What do you think land nav is all about? It's getting to an objective, militarily. Do you think for 1 minute that we're out in the woods shining a flashlight at night, telling the enemy exactly where we're at? Think about it. Stop and think about where you're at and what you're interviewing for. Would that make any sense at all to you? Hey, here I am. Hey, look at me. Look at me. Do you think we do that? I'm not in any way, shape, or form inclined to stop that process. I do think that you need to come back here one more time before you ship out and display a entirely different attitude. Because this attitude is going to get you thrown out of selection really quickly. All right, dismissed.